Hi everyone, I'm Shelly and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. Today I decided that I was going to share a little bit about me, the face behind the Question the Narrative series. Recently, a couple of my YouTube friends made introductory videos for their channels telling a little bit about themselves, and I really liked the idea. I did make one many years ago, maybe in 2017, 2018, but I have picked up quite a few subscribers since that time, so I thought that I would share a little bit about myself, and it might help you to understand how I got to the point of homeschooling and, yeah, questioning the narrative. So, first of all, I am a born again believer. I became a believer in 2007. So, I was in my early 30s, very early 30s at the time, already pregnant with our seventh child. Yes, I have 11 children. I'll get to that in a bit. So a lot of people before that time were always asking me if I was Catholic or if I was Mormon because I had so many children. And the fact was is that at that point in time, I was still just a seeker. I did not actually become a believer until, again, I was pregnant with my seventh child. And I have to say that I was really a seeker for a long time. I dug into everything. I was reading religious texts, and I was reading religious fiction, and then I was reading books on the other side of the aisle trying to debunk it. And yes, in the end, I became a born again believer because that is where the information that I learned led to. So now getting to the fact that I have 11 children. First of all, I have to say that I am married. I have been with my husband since I met him actually a month after I graduated high school. And we have been together ever since. So 30 years now, we have been together. Our oldest is 29 years old and our youngest is 9. So yeah, there's like a 19 and a half year difference between our oldest and youngest. Our oldest is actually the only one of our children who graduated from public school. I homeschooled him for 9th and 10th grade because we did start homeschooling in 2007. And then after homeschooling for 2 years, I kind of burned out, sent my kids back to school for 2 years, and that was a huge mistake. Pulled them back out, but yes, my oldest son did graduate from high school. But so far, all of my other adult children are homeschool graduates. So I have 4 homeschool graduates right now, and I'm still homeschooling 6 of them right now. So, what led me to homeschooling? Well, I just saw a lot of the stuff that was going on in the schools already in 2007 that I did not agree with. And then in, I would say around 2013, 2012, maybe, I started reading John Taylor Gatto's books. And I realized that school is not what people think it is. It was not designed for education. That is not what the purpose was at all. And so once I knew what school was really all about and what the true purpose of compulsory schooling was, I was just determined at that point that after I pulled my kids back out, I was never going to put them back in school again, Lord willing. And I have not. So we are actually in our 14th year of homeschooling. So once I realized how much indoctrination actually does happen in the schools, it's not just a myth, it does happen. And I just started realizing, well, if we're lied to about all this stuff in school, what can we truly believe? And then in 2017 was when, like, all of a sudden it hit me. 2017 was before YouTube used to censor videos. So I came across some flat earth videos. That was like the beginning. Actually, no. I'll say in 2013, I started studying the Nephilim with L.A. Marzulli's books On the Trail of the Nephilim, volumes 1 and 2. That was actually the beginning of my truther path, I guess you could say. But then, in 2017, I came across the flat earth videos and I was like, wow, because when I first watched them, I was like, oh my gosh, how can people believe this? But I was bored, so I thought, all right, I'm going to see what they're talking about. And then I just watched one video after another, after another, after another. And yeah, it took me 10 months. Like I was mesmerized, but it took me 10 months of really researching. I ordered some books, read the books, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure the earth is flat. So that was how that all started. And then that just moved me down into many different rabbit holes that, I cover on my Question the Narrative series all the time. So yeah, I don't think that I was always someone who really liked to rock the boat. I was always a little spunky though, and I was obedient, but at the same time, I didn't particularly like being told what to do, and I'm still like that. I think it's just gotten worse, especially since I've had children. You know, once you have children and that mama bear instinct comes out, and then you really stop wanting to just be complacent all the time. And so that really has helped also. So besides being a homeschool mom, I also am running a ministry at my church. I'm very passionate about biblical womanhood. So I run a Titus 2 biblical womanhood ministry at my church. And it's under the supervision of some elders. And it just started. It's fairly new, but I know that it's going to be a lot of fun. I also am running a homeschool support group. That is another ministry at my church that I run, and I'm really having a lot of fun with that. But honestly, the reason that I started this channel originally was as an extension of my blog. I do have a blog that I don't write on anymore. Now I just post my videos, and that way the subscribers to my blog can get the links to my videos if they want to watch them. So for a few years, I was a homeschool blogger, and I blogged for iHomeschool Network for a while. I did some homeschool curriculum reviews, but every now and then I would just kind of rock the boat a little bit, and I would start getting into what the history of education is and why public schools are never going to get any better. And every time that I would press post or publish on those blog posts, I would be so nervous. I was so afraid to see what people would think. And those always ended up being like my most popular blog posts. So, just fast forward a little bit, maybe a year or two, I started out with YouTube then, just figured I would give it a try. Also started with homeschooling. But as I was making all of these homeschooling videos, I could just feel the nudging of the Holy Spirit just nudging me that I need to start sharing the things that I have been learning. And, I was afraid because I am one of those people, unfortunately, that I care too much what people think. And I think sometimes in the way that I respond to some of the comments, I think you can tell that. And I'm trying to get over that, but that's who I am. But I still get out there and I still make these videos. And I think it's important to just ask questions. I know that sometimes people in my comments get irritated because I don't definitively say that something is true or something is not. No, okay, some things are easier to say if they're not true. But my channel is about questioning things. So I will not come out and say that I 100% believe something unless I have 100% evidence behind it. Because honestly, that's what they try to do to us with the mainstream narrative. They're trying to push their narrative on us, and they want us to accept it without evidence. And I don't want to do that as a truther. I want to explore things because I think it's interesting, it's fun, it's a great way to pass the time. And I like to gather as much evidence as I can, but in the end, you're not going to find me making an absolute judgment on something unless I know that I am correct, because I don't want to fall down the same path that those pushing the mainstream narrative have. It's always just about, I hate to use the term critical thinking. It's all about reasoning. It's about free thinking. That's a better term. Free thinking is what it's all about. And we just need to get past accepting what everyone tells us all the time, because at this point we know that most of the things that we have been told are lies. And it's okay for us to ask questions. It's okay for us to touch on those taboo topics, whether they are about even about our own faith. We are allowed to touch on those taboo topics, which is why I touch on things like the millennial kingdom having already happened, possibly. I touch on things like the gap theory and about the sons of God and the Nephilim, because I think they're important. It's so important that we do our own studying and don't always just accept what other people have to tell us. And that includes me. So I don't ever want anyone to accept something just because I said it here on my Question the Narrative series, because that's not what it's all about. It's just about opening up your curiosity, and maybe hopefully you will start diving down those rabbit trails as well, if you're not already. That's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one either here or over on Instagram. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And I hope you have a great day.